So just as the recipe says, I grabbed a kilo of beetroot or thereabouts. I grabbed 6 decent sized beetroot, gave them a bit of a clean up and then proceeded to peel them, which took me a while because they were so big and I have tiny hands. So once the beetroot were peeled, I then proceeded to grate the beetroot. Again, it was a bit of hard work. I have small hands and my food processor had just recently broken, so this was fun. So after I'd finished grating all the beetroot, I used this little gadget to chop up the onion and then realized I could have done this with the beetroot because it actually worked quite well. So yeah, just add the 500 grams of onions. It does call for brown. I had another recipe call for red, so I just went with a little bit of both. Then you want to add 2 teaspoons of pickling spice to the mixture. And at this stage you can add the beetroot, onion and pickling spice to a large pot. Now I'm adding 450 grams of monk fruit extract as my son is doing keto diet and this is a sugar replacement for that. And 1 teaspoon of Celtic salt is what I used. Then I added 750 ml of apple cider vinegar. You can use white malt vinegar or just white vinegar. Whatever vinegar is your preference will be fine. I wanted my relish to have a little bit of chili in it, so I proceeded to add chilies. I wasn't sure how many to add to this much beetroot, so I grabbed a handful, put that in. Wasn't happy with that much, so grabbed another handful, put that in. And I don't know, maybe 15 bird's eye chilies or something is what I added. It had a little bit of a kick to it, not a hell of a lot. Next time I'll probably add a little bit more, but it was good for someone who doesn't really like too much chili. So once all the ingredients are in, you just want to give it a thorough mix through and then you can chuck your heat on. And at this stage I had realized I'd forgotten to put the 2 apples in, so I had the beetroot simmering away on the stove and quickly whipped up these apples to put into the beetroot. So once I finished cutting them up and dicing them in this cool little machine, then I added it to the mixture, gave it a nice mix, and then I left it on the stove to simmer for 45 minutes and I set the timer so I didn't forget. And after 45 minutes, I thought it hadn't really reduced too much, or not enough. So I did another 15 minutes, which worked out perfectly. You can add corn flour to this mixture to thicken it. I didn't, however, want to add any corn flour, so I just simmered it just a little bit longer to reduce it down. So it's completely up to you if you would like to use corn flour or reduce it to give it its thickness. And if any of you have seen the video of us making chili sauce, you will see the mess we made because I didn't have funnels to try to get the sauce into the bottles. I did go out and finally buy funnels. However, these ones, the spout isn't really quite round enough for this thick relish, so I'm gonna have to get some more for this, but we didn't make as much of a mess. So yeah, definitely buy yourself some funnels. So that's the video on making beetroot relish. I've never tried this before, but this actually turns out really good, and my husband and my son like it too. So I would definitely give it a whirl if I was you. Anyway, thanks for watching and take it easy. See you next time.